Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Time with Cinematographers. So the month of June this year saw us drop our maiden edition of a series we have been working on entitled Robinson's Creed, and we are really excited by it. So far, the feedback has been quite positive, and we are looking to really build upon this and keep on providing more content on this channel regarding the projects that we work on. I know we did make mention of in previous episodes that we will be bringing other projects. I think there was Finding Hope, something we have not been able to get back to simply because of pressures and demands regarding our workflow and the kind of stuff we are dealing with, the kind of projects we are working on. But yes, Finding Hope is another series that I feel should happen. It should happen simply because of the dynamics and the way the plot goes. I think it's something that viewers are going to find really exciting, and it's something I believe is so much more than even what Robinson's Creed is presenting. As much as possible, we like to create content that is pushing our boundaries, content that is quite different from a lot of things that are being produced here in Ghana primarily, and of course to be able to push ourselves as much as possible to compete or present content that will, be of a much higher quality or standard, and something that can be of international recognition. So aside Robinson's Creed, we also made mention of Men's View. Men's View is a project we have completed. Initially, it should have been in the month of June that we did premiere it. We were looking to have it come out on TV, on a couple TV stations here in Ghana, and as well as on our YouTube channel. But then again, because of the pressures of what we do here, especially with Robinson's Creed coming around into the picture, I will get into how it all started. It hasn't allowed us to have time to work on Men's View in terms of promoting it, but what we have been doing is we have dropped a few segments of it, just to keep people in the loop and let people know what they can expect from Men's View. It is a very controversial movie, and in time we will also get to that, but I don't think that's going to be on this episode of Time with Cinematographers. So it's going to be more of us talking about, or me talking about Robinson's Creed, and then a few other things we will be getting into the pipeline regarding this channel, especially when it comes to beginners. We want to take you guys on our journey, how we go about stuff, how we are always learning when it comes to movie productions or content production, and of course we would be interested in your views and any tips from professionals out there. It's just a learning process, and it's something that we believe we can all together as one unit, one family, embark upon. So that is what we are going to be delving more into regarding Time with Cinematographers. We'll be starting off with this episode, and we'll be sharing more light on that presently. Robinson's Creed is a project, of course, yes, it is a series which has more of a religious backbone to it in terms of its storyline. It was initiated by an apostle. They are tied in with the production currently, and shout outs to Apostle Bernard. He's a really strong man of God, and he's a figure I look up to and admire a lot. And it was his initiative that started the whole thing with Robinson's Creed. He was looking for content that would present religious issues that's dealing with Christianity because of experiences he and his church were going through. So we thought it was something nice, something cool, as well as informative and educative, to bring out content that was based a lot upon experiences his church were encountering or going through in terms of dealing with people out there in the world. So we were approached on this, and we decided, okay, we'll get together, put a storyline, get some characters, and work something up and come up with something that will be worthwhile for people to watch. Robinson's Creed, yes, it has a strong Christian backbone or background to it, but then of course it's not just to be entirely issues related to Christianity. In order to make it interesting, we had to factor in dramatic stuff, stuff that will create suspense, thrill, so that, yes, we can build an audience of viewers using that kind of format. So Robinson's Creed, at its center, it's built around an individual called Robinson. He's a young man, and of course, he has friends like every young man does these days. He is a student on a university campus, and most of his mates are university students. And as a story, Robinson's Creed is going to take you through the encounters and challenges our main character experiences, on the university campus. And like I said, in order to make it quite interesting to watch, we toss in a bit of dramatic stuff, to create a suspense. There's a lot of supernatural stuff going on, because when it comes to Christianity, you're going to be dealing with the supernatural, especially when we take into consideration, like I said, things the church encounter. Supernatural also presents a lot of stuff beyond the norm, so people will be interested in saying, wow, does this really happen? As depicted in episode 1, if you have watched episode 1 of Robinson's Creed, you realize that it seems a bit of a demonic possession going on, and this is something that I know a lot of churches experience on a frequent basis, in which individuals are brought forward and they have to be prayed for, and maybe demons cast out, so there's some negative energy around them. I'm not such a very religious person, but yes, I can relate to such things, because I have witnessed these kind of things before. So yes, the supernatural is a strong component of Robinson's Creed, and I think having that mix and just being creative with our storyline makes it quite a refreshing package from a lot of other content out there. Of course, we're not saying we are unique or special in any way, but we believe Robinson's Creed, with the kind of creativity going into it, it's a low budget production, as with most of our productions, skeleton budget as always, but it will present a different package simply because of the various aspects we are looking to rope into it. And then of course a lot has to do with the storytelling format, and yes, we can also talk about the acting, the strengths of actors or actresses involved in the project. So yeah, Robinson's Creed in a very, very brief format is well religious, but we do not over flavor it with just the religious aspects. As much as possible, you realize it's quite subtle, when you watch episode 1, but then we also do want to be teaching people stuff related to Christianity, the Bible. We're going to be having a couple occasionally Bible quotes, verses, that kind of stuff, stories or content from the Bible will be referenced and brought to light in the storyline as it goes along. So yes, that's Robinson's Creed in a nutshell, and there's more to come. We believe it's something that is going to be viable, it's going to thrive, and we really want this to grow and to build a strong support base, or can I say a viewer base on this, on Robinson's Creed, both on our channel, and eventually we are looking at the prospect of Robinson's Creed coming out on TV stations here in Ghana. So that's Robinson's Creed in a nutshell, like I said earlier on, and I think it's something a lot of viewers are going to enjoy as the series goes along and you get to see more characters coming on board. There's also quite a bit of action in Robinson's Creed. We, like I said, it's not just to keep it strictly religious, and it might get a bit dull that way, but with our storytelling format, we are looking to put quite a lot inside there, so that we are challenging ourselves also in terms of special effects It's quite low key for now, but as we go along, as we also explore new techniques and ways of doing things, which we will be bringing to you in episodes of Time with Cinematographers, I believe we're going to have a very exciting journey. And currently episode 2 is in the pipeline. We will be dropping little bits of it over the coming weeks, and I think viewers will find that very, very interesting. Okay, so to round things off, I will also talk about other things we will be doing with Time with Cinematographers, just aside presenting you with snips and clips and updates on the projects we are working on. What we're also looking to factor in now is sort of a tutorial regarding how we go about producing our content. We are going to be dealing with script writing. We're going to be dealing with setting up our cameras, how we present characters. We're going to be looking at how we record sound. I think these things are very important for any beginner out there. We always want to encourage people who are into content production, which if it's a vlog you're on, if it's a short movie productions you're involved with, we always want to encourage people. That's how we started off before we were able to start branching into larger or bigger projects. It's the little bits and pieces, the little things we pick up along the way that truly define how your final products or final bits of content are going to look. And for us, we have had quite a journey. It's been a few years since we started on this, and we've learned a few things along the line which we are interested in sharing with anybody out there. If you're a beginner, even if you're a professional, we would be also welcoming you on board. Share your ideas in the chats and the comment section. Let us know what you think about our content, and if there are things we can improve upon. Of course, there are definitely things we can improve upon, but basically what we will be trying to interact more with our viewers and whoever is interested out there is how we go about things. Like I said, how we develop our scripts. I think that's something that a lot of people in Ghana can get vested into, creating a good story. For me, I normally use Final Draft, other software packages you can use for writing your scripts. I think it's even something you can do in Microsoft Word. And we are more of the low-key kind of movie or content producers. Everything we do is always on a tight budget. We often borrow quite a lot of equipment from friends around, colleagues, and we're going to be taking you through all these little bits and pieces of how you can start off, whatever you're doing. I remember when we first started off, all we had was a microphone and we had to borrow stuff. Once you have a dream when it comes to content production, you should not wait. What I think is really, really critical is putting in the hard work. Hard work trumps talent most of the time. Yes, it is good to have a bit of talent, a bit of creativity, but the hard work, the hustle and grind is really, really integral to anyone getting started in this business. Yes, you don't necessarily need to have a really powerful camera, state-of-the-art camera, or current camera. There are lots of cameras out there you can get your hands on if you have enough money to buy one or borrow one. And then a lot of patience is also integral. And then as you go along, you realize you're picking up little bits of know-how on how to produce really good content. We are still on that journey. I wouldn't say we're Hollywood standard, but we realize over time we've had quite a significant improvement in terms of the quality we are bringing out there. We are trying to make it much better, especially regarding the acting, but it takes time. One thing we need to understand when it comes to movie productions or content production, that whatever you're doing, the more money you can funnel into a project, the better it's going to look. So other things we can be looking at when it comes to our tutorials on time with cinematography or cinematographers would be like location, getting the right location, because background settings, what the background looks like, also influences the quality of your final footage after editing. Again, you just don't pick any location simply because it looks nice. You have to also test sound. And one thing I can tell you that I don't know about other countries in Africa, but one thing we've encountered a lot in Ghana is sound is usually a challenge, especially when you're filming in a public area. People are not so receptive often. I'm not saying all the time, but you want people to keep quiet in the background, and people get, slighted. People are a bit upset. These are things we need to really consider when it comes to movie production. And these, like I said, we will be looking at all these kind of, bits and pieces when it comes to content production in subsequent episodes of Time with Cinematographers. So yes, the tutorials, I believe, is something that people would be interested in. We'll be showing you so many little tricks and ways of even producing your own equipment. For example, I think in the next video or next episode of Time with Cinematographers, I have built a blimp out of PVC pipe and a bit of foam, high density foam. And getting a blimp can be a bit, I wouldn't say it's so expensive, but if you are operating on a very tight budget, a blimp, for those of you who do not know what a blimp is, it's simply a structure which a microphone or the shotgun microphone is placed in, and it has quite a bit of fairy material around it, and it's normally used in windy conditions when you're filming outdoors, because if you're filming along the beach, for instance, a blimp is going to be quite important, because what it does is stop that buffering sound against the impact against the microphone due to the presence of wind or the action of wind. So a blimp is a very integral part of filming outside, and currently on the market, I know most blimps are going for upwards of $300 if my research is correct. I think some of them even go as high as $400. And if you're someone in Ghana starting off in movie productions, just imagine $400 to get a blimp. Meanwhile, there are a lot of things you can do on your own just to ensure you get quality sound. So in the next tutorial, it's quite straightforward. You can easily make a blimp that functions. I have one now that we use occasionally when I think it's really, really critical. I go out there and ask friends or colleagues who have such equipment as in a blimp, and I bring it on board with the production team. We use it and we return it back to whoever owns it. But yes, we have made something on our own, our low-key DIY blimp, and it's quite straightforward, quite simple. And yes, along the line, we'll keep on looking into how you can produce your own stuff. If it's an action scene, for example, there's a project I have in mind towards the end of the year. We have that's another series, and we might just shoot a demo bit of it, and it involves the use of a high velocity assault rifle. And I can't say we can go to the police or the army units out there and ask them for their weapons to use on sets. No, getting a prop rifle in Ghana is not that easy, simply due to the kind of security laws and regulations out there. But then of course you can make your own stuff. So I have in mind to produce a rifle, and it has to look very, very realistic, and it is something I think I can take viewers through, so that you understand quite a few things you can do on your own. And these things, or making these things, would really improve the quality of your production and make it more realistic, more interesting to watch, and of course grow you an audience or a pool of viewers. Of course, when it comes to the use of guns, most of the stuff we do in terms of the action, bullet action or gunshot play is going to be in post and editing. So you just need that gun that looks realistic, has a working bolt, action, trigger, all those kind of things, and the rest is simply up to editing and how we use the gun, the prop gun on set. So guys, you can really be looking forward to tutorials which will really help you beginners out there, in terms of presenting your final work and making it look quality. I know, for example, people like recording into the camera, but for us, the way we record sound is different. It's using a Zoom recorder. I'm not saying we are the only ones. Quite a few people, most of the professional production houses in Ghana use a Zoom recorder, but for us, it's more of Yes, the zoom recorder is key. We have an old one, luckily, and yes, also how you position the mic is quite important as well when it comes to making sure that your audio is really good. Audio, I think, is key even before what people are going to be watching. If the audio irritates anyone watching, they kind of just want to switch off from viewing the rest of your material. So guys, look forward to a whole lot more in our subsequent episodes of Time with Cinematographers. I'd like to say it's been pleasant interacting with you guys, and I hope you join us and make an audience in the next episode. And as always, stay safe out there, and let's keep on doing what we do and what we love doing. I'm out for now.